Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome back to Age of Fear 2 of the Chaos Lords with me, Cornish-Knight, as we dive back in. The developers have made some changes. I didn't ask them to do they took one of the shamans out of the last battle. I didn't ask them to do that. So personally, I think we could have probably taken that extra shaman if I had just organised my party better. Ooh, new stuff. Yeah. When just going through the two places we've been previously, just doing like the constant, doing the free upgrading and stuff, though I did notice there were some nice brand new interesting map features that we get to check out, which is going to be pretty cool. Dual wielding is nice, but you have to get the right items for it. Unfortunately, I think, if I remember correctly, we didn't have the same items this time around, so it might be a bit of a problem. Elite status for our warlock, very nice. One of the tactics that I found that works really well with these orcs is literally to get all your orcs up to a certain level. I'm holding off to try and get them either the Black Orc or the Chieftain upgrade, and give them Shield Breaker, which means that they become very, very useful at killing nasty big monsters. We have the Troll Stone Thrower, a bit weaker attack based wise versus the normal Troll. So if you're going to use the Stone Throwers, just be aware that they're going to be a bit weaker on the offensive side of things when it comes to hand to hand. Normal Trolls are better at range. See, look, they drop slightly in an attack. They drop to 3 rather than 4, which is a bit of a shame. But hey ho. So I'm going to keep them like that. The rest of the guys were just sort of taking care of business, and just getting everything ready. The problem that I found in the last battle was I didn't have enough anti-magic, which really beat me around the head. Taz has been given a new ability from the developers, which I didn't realise now. You see it in the battle itself. I thought it was an ability I had to pick up, but it's actually in his character stats. It's called Headhunter. It's basically like a demoralising attack to everyone around you if you kill someone. You see that you can see it there in his thing, Headhunting. Still haven't got enough experience for the Ogre. Yeah, I'm just going through doing my standard stuff, which is upgrading all my troops and getting them all ready for battle. My tactics for the upcoming battle itself is that I was going to have when we still had 3 warlocks to face, it was going to be I was going to take some additional magic casters, so that I had 2 dedicated magic casters working on defense, and we were going to have Hurl basically just throwing out magical attacks all over the place. Tidying up the assassins, trying to figure out what to give them. War Rune is nice, just a bit more boosted stat wise. That is such a useful. Iron Mind is so important for your sappers if you can get it as soon as possible, just because it means they're better at doing their job. Give him a bit more attack and defense, so he's a bit harder to kill. Give that to him as well. I should probably have given him. Yeah, I did give him poison immunity as well. That's something else you need to give your sappers. Poison immunity and Iron Mind are the 2 things you need to give them. These orcs are going to be the same. I'm literally just saving them up for later on in the game when I can turn them into stuff. I look at the Shaman. I gave him the spell magic because it's necessary, really, which means he can't really do anything else, and I don't want to waste it. So I just give him meditation, which is meditation, and the spell are all basic things you need to give to magic users in this game. Let's see. These guys get left alone. All these guys are getting left alone, so I'm just using them as backup units in case my main frontline ones go down. And we get to check out some of the new stuff. So first off, magical crystals. Get more magical crystals. It's the same. This is the same. Like these renew every 24 hours real daytime, so you can come back to here and get some more magical crystals. But we have this, which is a bazaar, which is really nice and cool. Adding new items to your inventory. Let's check them out. We have some really nice stuff. As you can see, Dark Dagger looks really nice, but it's a cursed item, so we can't take it off. All kinds of sacrifice, unblockable, touch range, restores free magical power to self. Actually, that's not that useful, to be honest. I thought it was HP rather than MP when I was originally looking at it, which is why I hover over it, because I'm trying to think up combinations. I think it would be really useful to have, like, if it was like HP, you could just give it to an orc, like give it to Catsog and you go nuts. Staff of Striking is nice. Necromantic Rod is really nice, though you couldn't use it for Necromancer, I forget that. Dark Elf Staff is really nice. Because it has the disintegrate ability, which is obscenely powerful. Bard's Loot, very nice indeed. Assassin's Dagger. Check out the shields, nice shields. This is where the armors come in. We have a really nice phasing cape, which allows you to basically have the incorporeal trait, which means you can phase through terrain, which is obscenely OP. We're also going to equip him with the Meteor Iron Armor. Archmage robes are absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, I decide that I want to try and save up my money because I need to buy another magic user, and they're like 1,200 gold a pop. We still have stuff to buy. Ooh, Potion of Heroism. That's one of the new potions in the game that has been added, which is really cool. Attack and defense bonus, plus HP, plus damage as well, which is really pleasant. But I have like a sneaking. Okay, this is going to sound really like strange, but my character, I came up with a sneaky ploy, which is that I take the Golden Sappers, who have been given swift potions, which is a good idea because I want them to be able to quickly get to their targets. What I also give them is potions of heroism, because what I want them to do is I want them to have a higher than average to hit chance, so they have a higher average to hit chance, they have a higher defense, they're going to cause more damage when they hit. So I equip them with this, and this is actually a really good potion. The potion of swiftness and the potion of heroism makes a really nasty combination with the Goblin Sappers, plus they're being heroic by sacrificing themselves for the greater good. Go for my stuff, buying some more potions for Taz, give him the potion of vulnerability, which is really useful for him to have. He doesn't really get to use it though, which is unfortunate. Catsog. This is the bit where I'm trying to figure out what kind of item combinations we can give him. I look at like the weapons here, but there's nothing that really catches my attention. The combination I had, which was Poisoned Axe and Swamp Mace, which was really nice. We didn't have that, which was a shame. I considered swapping out like having Poisoned Axe and Flame Sword, but I'd lose an attack for that, which I wasn't overly keen with. So I start to contemplate what kind of magical staff do I want to give my mage. Do I want to give my mage Fire Wand? I look at the Flame Wand, just considering giving it to Catsog, but it's not that. I don't find it as useful, to be honest. I consider getting because that's the one I got on the Undead Bane. So I consider getting it, but it doesn't really interest me. I think about getting Staff of Striking, but it doesn't really interest me, and it's not actually good for mages per se, unless you want to be a combat mage. You can't choose the Necromancy's Rod, which is what I was considering getting to him. So I look at the Fire Wand, I look at the Dark Elf one because it has Disintegration, and as you can see, I've got an elite status, so this attack will be doing 6 D2 damage per turn, which is really powerful. Plus it has Despair on it, which is also a really nice trait to have as well. And I sort of and ah about it, because Fireball is really nice and it's an area of effect spell, and it's pleasant, it's a really good spell. I like using it a lot. I used it absolutely tons in my previous in the first Age of Fear, but this integration at elite level is ludicrously powerful. It's a perfect like VIP killer. I can spam it on big monsters, on enemy casters, on elite enemy units. It's either going to kill them or it's going to hurt them so badly that they won't be able to really threaten me at all. So it's a good combination to have. So I get that. Indeed, yes, it is a very. If you can get the Dark Elf staff, it is so powerful at high levels, especially if you want to have like a magical assassin build, like with having a warlock or a sorcerer or a archmage, and you give him the Dark Elf staff, he will literally just kill off elite enemy troops, and it's fantastic for going up against the undead as well. Stops them from regenning their most prized units. I look at it and I stop because the reason I don't buy the Archmage armor or the Archmage robes is because I forget that we get like a good chunk of money from doing the next story mission. Like at the beginning we get given like 2,000 gold, so I don't want to fork it out because I want to be able to buy potions and stuff and an extra mage. We also have all this stuff here to buy as well. There's also all kinds of really nice new like miscellaneous items. The ability not to get mind controlled for alcohol. Only the dwarves, eh? Some really nice like intelligence boosting stuff, but it's the same issue that I had initially, is that I'm trying to save money to buy another warlock, so I'm a bit cautious to spend too much money. Just having a sip of my water. There's some really nice stuff in here. A lot of necromancy miscellaneous stuff. Actually, I should have probably got the Hell's Candles. That's my mistake. I should have picked up the Hell's Candles. That's very nice as well. Resurrection. I could get one resurrection, which could mean we could pop someone back up if they die. I want to. I'll see if they still have it next game. Hell Candles. I should have picked up. Bracelet of Thorns. Just some very nice things. Checking out like the magical rings. Ring of Anti-Magic is very nice. Means if you're a wizard you do less magic, you have less magical power, but also if you're like a combat person you literally become nigh on untouchable against magical spells. Doing some potion corrections, all the usual business. Still can't make up my mind if I want to get the Archmage robes. At this point I decide not to and just to go with the crystal armor. I mean the stats are really nice, but I want to save money because I want to try and buy a warlock, and I don't quite remember how much it's going to cost me, and plus I need to buy potions and stuff for him, so I err on the side of caution. And with that done, I have a quick look around the map. There's nothing new. I do love this new map setup they have, and we go to the main story. We've heard it before, so when you're skipping it.
A few days later, they reached the end of the dull grey-brown swamp.
Yeah, I just skip it because we've heard this before. I want to push on with the main battle. Get 2,000 gold. And this is where my strategy comes into play. I sack one of the people I have in my party. I can't remember who I sack in the end. I think it's a goblin. Pardon me. Because what my plan is that I'm literally going to go in with 3 casters. 2 of them to act as magical defense to dispel mind control and stuff, and 1 of them probably hurl to literally just start casting all kinds of magical doohickery at them. Give him dispel magic, which is very very useful, and give him the experience intelligence buff, which is very very useful as well. Let's see. Just trying to make up my mind what to do next, it seems. Yep. So basically what my plan is for this coming battle is that I'm going to take a couple more dedicated spell units. It was my own fault really. I'd been relying too heavily early on in the game on the orcs' natural like fightiness to win me stuff, which works if you play it well against high level magic using groups. So like the one I came up with last game, it has its drawbacks. more potion alignments. We're just going to get some stuff organised. Getting your potions ready before game is like really important. Knowing exactly what you want. I go in here, I try and figure out what I want to give him. We don't get anything good on the draw, unfortunately. I was hoping to get the swamp mace again, but we don't get it, which means that my plan to basically dual wield the poisoned axe and something else isn't going to happen. So I decide to stick with the dragon's teeth, because at least I get 2 attacks out of that. I'm a bit disappointed. I wish the swamp mace had stayed in, because it was a really nice combination to have. Because it gave me diseased bonus, which meant that people who hit me got diseased, which was really nice. The freeze attack is okay. I mean, it's not particularly. It doesn't actually do like frost damage. It just like slows their defense and drops the defense and slows their movement and their attack. So you can see -1 to attack, -1 to defense, -50 to speed. It's not something I'm particularly interested in. I'm getting a stunning attack for the ogre's mace. So I decided not to basically get it. I'm just going to stick with the dragon's teeth. Oh, that's still good. Go for our items. Pardon me. Go for our items. I take off the life amulet. It's useful, but I'd rather have the poisoned one. I just have to remember in this game to only go after units that aren't goblins, because the goblins get naturally high poison resistance. And start switching out some of my units. I take out one of my assassins as well. I take out one of the weaker assassins and replace him with actually I'm pretty sure he's one of my better ones, but I just switch him out for the shaman. So now we've got 3 magical users in the party. I'm pretty confident we can do this without issue. I'm just quickly checking over Taz's skills. You can see the headhunter trait in there, which is really nice. Gives penalties to morale every time you kill someone within range, which is very pleasant. We hit continue.
Orcish gangs were always led by the strongest and meanest brute around.
Skip straight into the battle. I do like the tactical element of this game. It is very well thought out. There we go. Little interactions with people. They're going to dive straight in. As always, the developers are trying to get their engine reworked, which means that we shouldn't have this bug in the future. I charged Taz in. Not the best thing I could have done, to be honest. Especially when he misses. And then I moved to back people up. I had intended to be a bit more defensive. But when I play the orcs quite aggressively, which means that I don't always do the best tactical decision in this game. I do try and hold my people back a bit though. I try and also keep my mage users in reserve so that they can dispel mind control on people. From what I could tell, the developers took out 2 things. They took out one of the warlocks, and they took out the magical cauldron that was in the background, constantly dispelling a lot of stuff. Move my warlocks up to basically protect my units from mind control, and I move up everybody else.
Yes.
Fortunately, my sappers can't be controlled, which is nice. We end turn. They push quite aggressively with their sappers at this stage, which has me worried, because they're within range to move and detonate, which will suck. Mass Bless, which is never a nice skill to come up against. They're quite crowded together, which is where I'm basically hoping I can kill them off with. Taz goes to town and kills him. now we have the issue that this is the point I suddenly realise I've made a mistake, which is that I'm just out of range of mind control for the sappers, which sucks. So I take a bit of a gamble, which is I realise that I've basically put myself in a bad position. So I pull back all my people, and I hope that I basically know what the AI will probably do, which is that when you're facing enemy units that have a lot of mind control capacity, what they will do is firstly take control of your most tactically significant piece, which in my case is normally is Taz. So what my plan is to let them take control of Taz, and then eat one round of combat against him and then dispel it. So he's basically pulled he's basically pulled back to safety out of their blast radius, which is always very useful. I also have another cunning plan up my sleeve, which is something that I learnt a long time ago using the undead. And you're about to see it now. Disposable units. Summon a bunch of snakes, and I'm going to do this, which is the snakes are going to charge and tie up their sappers. Hopefully, I was hoping that it was going to make the sappers in the orcs turn basically detonate, and they were going to basically hit the demolition thing and blow themselves up, which is what I was sort of hoping was going to happen. It didn't work, but I keep on doing the trick. I'm basically doing the whole summon snakes, using the snakes to buy my people time.
Tasty.
Just like shoving them in front of units, so that if the sappers want to get to us, they'll have to basically get into combat. For I think I left that gap a bit too big and he might have been able to get through. So, this is the plan. Just pulling back my units.
Tasty.
I leave myself a bit wide open. I'm not particularly happy with it, but it can't be helped. So let's see what they were going to do and how they were going to counter this. Mind control, as I thought. He pops the potion of invulnerability. He charges in. They net one of the snakes, not a massive problem. The snakes basically did what I wanted them to do, which was to slow down their movement. He doesn't detonate his sappers at this point, which is something I can't understand why. I do make a slight mistake here, which is basically I should have used. Did I use him? Yeah, I did use him to dispel.
Slaughter. Me fine.
Well, I can't remember now. I don't think the Saemons get do the Saemons? I can't remember. I thought that Saemons didn't get hypnotized, which is why I basically used him. If he does, I'm going to be a bit annoyed myself now. But my plan was to basically take control of both the sappers. It didn't work, so I basically popped the potion of swiftness. I popped the potion of heroism. And my plan is thus: I'm going to try and take out as many threats as I possibly can.
Master.
And this is how we're going to do it. First, I'm going to send him up there to try and kill as many of the goblins as we can. In hindsight, I should have probably moved him a bit more to the left, so we could hit more of them, but this works rather nicely. Does a nice chunk of damage. He's going to detonate. He doesn't get as many, but he does get the other sapper, which is nice. Which basically breaks the other ogre who runs off, which is very pleasant. Taz, who is now back under our control, the thing is, he's still being affected. This is what I've realised. He's still being affected by the physical resistance, so I can chuck him into combat against the sapper without taking loads of damage. And so he's going to basically pummel the sapper for dear life. I'm quite happy with how this is going, so I start poisoning some of the other orcs just to get them out of the way. I'm trying to break morale on people, like trying to break the morale of that ogre who's running for it. I'm just trying to keep them in a state of disarray. I chuck Catzog. I decide this is the time to basically go on the offensive, and we're going to go after one of their shamans. We break him and he basically sprints for it, which is really pleasant. And at this point I just go fully aggressive on the left flank and decide that I'm going to push. As their flank is basically breaking up with poor morale, like as they have key units are basically fleeing and it will take them a couple of turns to rally, I am literally just going to push, have one of the warlocks covering our ogre to stop him from being mind controlled, and I just start killing stuff. Start breaking units, start pushing them back. I want to try and get into the goblins, because the goblins are like my biggest pain. Undo that, didn't want it to happen. Send him to kill the sapper, so he can't blow up. Helps kill morale. He's going to get killed off by that next turn. I move this guy up here to protect our sapper from the from that remaining orc boy that's basically running about. And it's a relatively good turn. We've broken through. I didn't think they needed to have gotten rid of the other shaman. It was still manageable. Take a bit of damage. Gets netted. Puts out the blessings on people, but at this point it's a pretty nasty combination now, because he dies of poison and I start my current offensive. So who do we target first? Catzog's probably going to go after the goblin. He realises that he can get that netter, but he decides to go for the the orc warlock instead, because he's more of a threat. So we keep on smashing on him and just pummeling him. You can go and beat up on the netter. You can go and kill him. Keep him pinned. You can go and slash the ogre in the back, which is nice. Keep the pressure up. You can keep close behind to act as magical back counterweight. I use disintegration at this point, and it is beautiful because we use it on him, and he literally just dies, completely disintegrates, which is beautiful because it's taking rid of one of their heavy hitters. We go up and just keep hammering on this thing, and we keep killing him, which is nice. The assassins just finish him off as well. Slightly out of range of him, no problem.
What?
I was cautious with this sapper because I didn't want for him to get like pummeled by the enemy archers, because they still had a lot of archers and they would have shot him at range. So what I do instead is that I cast Summon Snake, and I put the snake in the hold where that orc warrior might be able to get out from and go after my sapper. So he just goes there. He doesn't do any damage. He's just there as a blocking token. He can't really move. At this point, it's pretty much over for the. Yeah, I get a debuff. Catzog gets tied up, which is a bit of a pain. The ogre gets shot to bits. We take a bit of damage, nothing like spectacularly wrong. And then we go into the defensive. Well, we go into the offensive again. I send one of my shamans to go and kill off him. I believe it's Hurl. Yeah, it is Hurl. Goes to kill off the other remaining goblins. So Taz is free to just wreck face. And this is where the headhunting trait comes in. Watch. There's the headhunting trait kicking, which gives massive penalties. As you can see, look down, headhunting. 2 to 4 morale loss every time he kills someone, which is very, very nice. I'm going to keep on punching this guy to death. He dies relatively quickly. And we can keep rolling, because our guys are on a roll.
Tasty.
Just keep butchering the goblins. Just keep slaughtering them. The archers are a pain. But at this point it's pretty much over.
No match for me.
Keep breaking their morale. In hindsight I probably should have just done summon snakes to pin them. But I thought I could basically break him, which I could, and just went for it with my other shaman. Assassins move up.
Master.
Pardon me. And everything's relatively going as planned, which is nice for a change.
Yes.
They all fall back. Try and kill the shaman. That guy takes a crack on the head from being hit by a magical blast, which sucks. So I have to pay experience to get rid of that injury.
Let's draw some blood.
We managed to poison him, which is nice. And we just keep clearing up. We take out their spellcasters. It's not a bad situation to be in. Butcher him. Give the negative morale boost again from the headhunting trait, which is very pleasant. He misses. Yeah, the Samans didn't have mind control, so I did the right thing, really. Get him killed off by the other orc. The ogre kills him off, so it frees up my other orc to go and kill off the other goblin. So this is pretty much just tidying up at this point. I was happy with how the tactic worked. I think it was too easy for me, especially in the early game, to be very much lacking in magic, because I just had to basically kill stuff with my fists. He dies from poison. But here it shows you the importance of having good counter magic with the orcs. The orcs and goblins don't have very powerful magical casters, like offensively, besides like hypnotism. So what you want to do is you want to use them predominantly for a support role, and have them either buff your troops, debuff the enemy's troops, or neutralize enemy magic that's being used on you, which is always a very useful and very important tool to have. And it was something that I had to remind myself to use in this game, because it's far too easy just to go super offensive with your magic, because it's very powerful. Now there's nothing left on the map, so we're just going to have a quick look around. I'm rather happy with myself. I didn't lose anyone. My sapper's going to come back, so we're going to end the fight here.
The battle was the longest combat Katzok had ever experienced, but he did not tire, for he knew that he would win in the end. As Katzok's axe sliced through the first warrior that stood in his way, blood sprayed all over him, and adrenaline increased his berserker rage. His weaving dance of death brought him to Razir. Their axes clashed, and the air was filled with the metallic ring of steel on steel, and with roars of rage. Katzok's advance was relentless, with no defense, no hesitation, and no calculation, but with pure brute strength. His axe swung madly before him as he hacked away at Razir, piece by piece, and the treacherous chieftain backed away to avoid Katzok's strikes. Razir was on the defensive. Intoxicated by blood and adrenaline, the orc rage flowed as an endless river. They killed everyone and destroyed everything that stood in their way. Even the composed Hurl released his magic in fury as he obliterated his foes with the magic of the elements. Continuing through the night and even into the dawn, Katzok and his gang finally calmed. Their foes were in pieces and littered through the blood-stained dirt. As Katzok's clan gathered around him, he grasped his father's bloody axe. heaving it triumphantly into the salty morning air. Katzok roared with triumph. "Bloody Axe Clan belong to Katzok," he called. "Katzok chieftain now, boys. Boys go to mountains. Boys go to orcish women. Boys rebuild clan."
And there we go, folks. Cat recovers the bloody axe, added to his item cache. Some new places are unlocked. Artificer's shop, which looks cool. Interesting castle, like luring orc women or capturing them, sounds a bit unpleasant. Some other stuff, but we'll check that out all next time. I've been Cornish-Knight. If you have liked, please press the like button. If you wish to subscribe, please press the subscription button. You can follow me on Twitter, on Steam, or just leave a comment in the comment section and I shall get back in contact with you. So until next time, goodbye.